go. I just kind of showed up. Let me just... Funny. Here, I'll hide this so I can do my intro. How's that? But it'll be a short intro. I guess I might as well put myself back up there. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing tonight? Yeah, good thing, huh? You'll fall asleep here, no problemo. Just kidding. What up, Sleuth? What's going on, guys? What do you mean you're trying to feel good? What's that mean? You don't feel good? You don't feel good? I can barely hear myself. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason I can barely hear myself. We're rocking now, though. Certainly are. What's up, everybody? How's it going? I hope everybody had a great Halloween. Mine was less than memorable, but you guys will like this. There's two little creatures, and you can call them dogs if you want. I decline to do that. That live in the house and basically run the house. And Otis was bad enough to deal with, but this is the extent that I had to go to make sure that the dogs didn't disrupt every single thing about handing out candy to the kids. The very, very, very first group of kids show up. It's like 4 or 5 kids. Ding dong. Halloween is such an invasive holiday. And it sucks most of the time. But what ends up happening is I don't want the dogs to get out. That's the problem. So I don't want them out. I don't want to let them out. That's probably, what's going to happen. Very first group that comes to the door, the very first group, and this'll get you. I get the candy. I go so we have a screen door, and I open the door, and the screen's there, and I have the bucket of candy, and this little girl, God bless her heart, God bless her heart. He did not. No, he didn't. Thank God. I open the door, and they both take off out the door running. Which was what I was trying to prevent, because when there's people around, they're very, very hard to wrangle. They're just tough sometimes to wrangle. And they take off and they're okay. So I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I'm just going to hand the candy out to these kids, and then I'm going to go get the dogs. So I'm handing the candy out to the kids. The dogs are running wild. There's kids. It looks like a little kid's, Mardi Gras. It's so packed outside. There's friggin' kids everywhere. Macho runs directly across the street, hikes his leg up on the same telephone pole he always does. Same time, same, it's just what he does. He loves to pee there. So I got one here, and I'm like, where's Otis at? Otis decides to go trick-or-treating with the pack of kids, hopping up and down with them, walking from door to door. I'm sitting there watching him. He's trick-or-treating. He's trick-or-treating with the kids. And that was annoying in itself. I'm not even kidding. He's with the group. Okay, so I wrangle them. I get them both back in the house, and I said, okay, what we're doing right now can't happen. It's just, it's bad, because this is going to be a continuous thing all night, and I'm not up for it. I'm not friggin' up for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not. And the little girl was like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, yeah, right. No, I'm just kidding. I was like, yeah, that's very nice of you. Oh, I was so annoyed with them. So, I'm going, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. So check this out. There was. And boy, oh boy, was it ever a lifesaver. The front of the house has the windows, and then at the very bottom, it's got the two little sliders. I just popped the screen out of one of them and started handing candy through there. There's nothing like seeing a big, hairy dude sticking his head through the window saying, trick or treat, when the kids are actually supposed to say it to me, but I get excited and yell it back. Trick or treat. I'll tell you what, that cut down on our traffic by 50%. 50% at least. At least. It could have been near pushing the 60% mark. High 50s. Not low 50s, high 50s. By at least 50, 55%. Me sticking my head through the front window. Go trick or treat, kids! Whatever. You're going to earn... Look. Nobody said that this holiday wasn't scary. All right? So you got me, I'm sticking my head through the window. I got dogs in the back barking. And I'm like, come get some candy. Damn it, I have a ton. And then the best part of the night. Honestly, probably the best part of the night. When I say the best part of the night, this little kid, I don't know how old he was. He was the oldest one of the group. You know, he was like that guy, but he wasn't very old. Maybe 10 at the most. And this little kid comes up to the window. He's the very last one. And he goes, "Hey." I'm like, "Huh?" "Hey." I said, "Dude, it's just the two of us. What?" And he goes, "You got any Kit Kats?" I said, "What? You got any Kit Kats? You got any Kit Kats?" I said, yeah, I do." "Well, can I have Kit Kats?" I said, "You're requesting, you're going to request what kind of candy you want?" He goes, "I like Kit Kats." I'm like, he got Almond Joys. I had tons of Kit Kats too. "Hey," like, "What? Whoa, simmer down." Simmer down, brother. "Hey, you got any Kit Kats?" Like, dude, that's not how you go about asking. But anyway, I actually gave him, like I said, I gave him the Almond Joys. Get out of my window. So I spent half the day hanging out the front of my window, scaring trick-or-treaters away by being overly aggressive, trying to peddle the candy that we had, because for some reason, somebody thought we needed 4 friggin' buckets of candy, and we don't at all. Candy is the demise of society, sugar. And we don't need 4 buckets of the crap. But I'm still not giving that kid Kit Kats. Ha ha. St. B, what's going on? Look, we got a new. Oh, what? He can't have them. He can't have my kit. I got more Kit Kats than I know what to do with. I got more Kit Kats than Carter has liver pills. I got more Kit Kats. Well, that's really all the. I got Kit Kats. That's it. That's all I got. But anyway. Satin be saved. What's going on? All right, let's talk about. Oh, really quick, and then later on in the evening, some teenage trick or treaters came by. The visual of you with your head out the window and yelling trick or treat has like, yeah, I mean, I had to do something, but it was completely counteractive. Completely counteractive to what I was trying to get done. But so check this out. Here's the best. When I say the best part, it's not the best part. There's no best parts. Much later in the evening, I call them a gaggle of what seemed to be teenage boys trick-or-treating. They had the little similar to mine, and one of them had a bigger beard than I did. Probably. We didn't measure anything. Because when I opened the door and I saw the offensive line of the Cincinnati Bengals standing at the door, I looked at them and then I shut the door. That's what I did. I shut the door on them. I didn't say a word. They said, trick or treat. And I looked at him and this is what I went. And I shut the door. I just shut it. What's going on? I didn't want them around me, okay? Is that a big deal? Yeah, I mean, one of them had like a cape on, and then one of them just had like that stupid scream mask. Uh, so I couldn't tell how old the kid in the scream mask totally could have got screwed because I had no idea. But he looked like he could. He looked like he could, bench press a good 190. I just shut the door on him. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Did your yard get rolled, car egged? You're good. No, because where I'm from, I'd go egg their house before they could egg my house. I gave them that look like, if you even think about it, I'll find out where you live and I'll egg your house and I'll roll it. So don't even think about it. Yeah, I do. I have some Twix left too. Yeah. The first I remember when Scream, we'll get going here in a second. I remember when Scream was popular when I was, I don't know, probably 8th grade or something. Yeah, eggs are expensive these days. I it's so stupid. That doesn't matter. Let's just let's just move on. Howdy, 2 a.m. Can't sleep. Well, you came to the right spot. We were on a pretty good roll until I started sticking my head out the window, screaming, trick or treat at the kids. I don't think that they appreciate. I don't think that the parents appreciated it. But I don't care. Although Otis did almost get stuck in the window. And that happened. Can't control a house anymore. Can't control a house anymore. No. Because I give off the look like, dude, if you're going to egg my house, I'm going to egg yours. I did. I scared most of the kids away. I really did. It was really funny, too, because when they were like the kids that were walking by, I stuck my head out the window and I was like, the dogs aren't getting out now. So we soaped windows. Yeah, soaping windows is cool. Soaping windows is cool. All right, let's get into what we're talking about tonight. How's everybody doing? So, like everybody else, I think, in the quote-unquote true crime community, I have been fascinated by the goings-on of the Delphi murders and the case. And this guy above me, and when these kind of things happen, what generally happens is the trickle of information starts coming out slowly and slowly. And by the time that the arrest affidavit is complete, we'll know everything about this guy. But, it's already being reported today that back in, I don't know, 2015, they're saying that they got called out to a domestic dispute, and no charges were filed, but the police were there to keep the peace. This is obviously before the murders took place. Danielle, how are you? Good to see you. And like I said, this is before the murders took place. And then you read that apparently this guy was processing photos for the family and not charging them. Or he didn't charge them. Which is weird. I don't know if that was before. I'm assuming it was after the murders. I'm assuming that. That's just an assumption. But the fact that he was just giving these people the photos for free is just weird. And now it's being reported that he came forward as a witness. He came forward as a witness. That blows my mind. And I've heard that it was funeral pics as well. But I can't confirm that. He came forward as a witness, guys. Like what the hell? Yeah. Yeah, I'll find it for you. Oh, it's something else. It's something else. I believe it was Fox. Let me see. Oh, I'm going to show you. Yep, I sure do. Why is my computer... It's just always doing something funny, you know what I mean? And I'm going to talk about this a little bit too. I might as well just do it now. So, that whole narrative that they've had, hiding in plain sight, blah, blah, blah. Yes, you do actually. So it's fascinating. When they said that this guy likely lives among us, works among us, all this kind of stuff, I personally, and I say personally, don't think that people really truly believed that. I don't think that the town believed it. I don't think that they didn't know what to think. Because if they truly, truly did feel that way, doesn't it seem odd that this man could fly under the radar the way that he was? Because that's what he was doing. He was operating in the shadows, watching from a distance, but still close. I think that a lot of locals had just said, that's just kind of law enforcement, saying what they're saying. I don't believe that he's here. That's how I would feel. That's how I feel. And yes, I have seen that movie with Robin Williams, the 1 hour photo thing. It is creepy. But I truly don't think that they thought that he lived among them. Wasn't he shorter than reported? They say 5'8", some say 5'6", some say 5'4". I don't know. I don't know how tall the guy is. probably somewhere around 5'6", 5'7", I don't know. But yes, there's some there's some he wanted to be a sus. I mean, well, I want to know if he helped search. That's going to be completely interesting to find out his moves, and trust me, as tomorrow there'll be new information about him. I don't know what the information will be, but it sounds like it sounds like every day a little more and a little more comes out. But once again, it's the same thing that we've always heard. I would have never, ever expected him. Now, I got to tell you, if I lived in Delphi, and if I knew this guy, I mean, why would you suspect that it was him? From the sketch? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. He doesn't look tall. He doesn't look tall. But the one thing that I still find just baffling about this case is the search warrant on Logan's property. They got it 2 days after the murders, and to get a search warrant, I mean, you have to convince a judge that there's evidence of a crime there, and maybe it was the fact that they found the kids on his property. I don't know. Is that enough for a search warrant of a house, of an entire property? What the FBI profiler or agent wrote about it, it seems that nothing has came to fruition when it comes to that. And they were very adamant to leave him alone the whole time. Was it that big of a swing and miss by law enforcement's search warrant? I don't know if or what or anything, if Ron Logan had anything to do with this at all. I have no idea. And I know a lot of you have a lot of, theories and, sorry. That's enough for a warrant it's enough for the property, but is that enough to seize the guy's truck? Is it enough to dig up his home? Is it, Is it? Was that enough? I mean, you have to be very specific on a search warrant, and it doesn't seem like they were. Diane, I disagree. I do not think that it's enough to search the property, but is it really, like, most people would be like, okay, yeah, you can search my house. Oh, look, Love America. I'm not saying that Ron Logan is a saint or whatever. I don't know anything about him. Except, what I've heard. And sounds like he was a drunk and kind of a mean guy. But I don't know. I mean, obviously the guy who, or the lady that submitted the search warrant got it signed, but I just don't know. There was no mention of Ron Logan yesterday. None. And I personally, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me, and that's okay, because I don't care, because I'm wrong a lot. Oh wait, here we got Graz here. They were able to search house because of parole violation, or maybe he let them, but they came back after building a circumstantial case. I think they could build a case like that against almost anyone. Well, yes, I think so too. But Graz, the thing about that is, Graz, they wouldn't need a search warrant then if it was a parole violation. They wouldn't need that. If he let them search it, they still wouldn't need that. The lady wrote up an entire search warrant request, piece by piece, and submitted it to the court. They were approved for a search warrant, not a parole violation. The news said that they went in his garage to look for the neighbor's tool. Said they went. Yeah, I mean, he might, but we don't know. We don't know. Murdered people found on your property would be enough probable cause to search his house. Well, we can agree to disagree. Diane, it's not like they found it on some that property was huge. It's not like they found it in the front yard or the backyard of somebody's house. That's different, right? I mean, that's different. I have a theory on why the whole tip thing may or may. So they're going to have to fight. They're going to have to fight to keep this thing sealed. I understand it was his property, but just because you find somebody on city property doesn't mean that you can search City Hall without a warrant. You know what I mean? Like the warrants are very specific. I mean, we're not, like I said, we're not. I don't think he was either. I'm just saying that it was a weird. They went out of their way to get a search warrant on the guy. Fine, fair enough. I don't even care. I think that he should have voluntarily let them. If he got nothing to do with it, nothing. I'm just saying that they took the steps. If they could have nailed him for a parole violation, if they could have nailed him for something else, if he would have just allowed them to search, none of that would have been. But they went through piece by piece submitting a search warrant request. So that's all I'm saying. And but nothing ever came of it. Do people still think that something's going to come of it? That this guy is working with, that he worked with Ron? Hey, I'm going to do this on your property? I doubt it. I don't think so. I don't think so. No, they didn't find. No, they absolutely did not find a dead body on his property. They found it on Ron Logan's property. If the probable cause was enough to just say, like, if they said, well, you know, I personally think that yes, that should definitely go in the warrant, but what you're going to start seeing now is the fight to unseal everything. That's personally why I think that the tip line is open, because that way they can say to a judge, hey, judge, we're still fielding tips on this. Can you give us some time? Can you give us some time? Because if they say, hey, can you just keep this sealed? And he would go, the judge would go, well, why? If you have no other suspects, it needs to be unsealed, because honestly, this man has a right to see what he is accused of, and he will be able to see it at some point, and he's going to. How long are they going to be able to keep this sealed? I don't think very long. And one of the tactics was, we're still taking tips. We're still taking tips. It's a good move. I'll choose to believe the experts, also known as the prosecutors. LOL. I'm grateful for some commenters on YouTube. Don't make charging decisions, etc. I don't know if that's directed at me or not, but I don't care. He might have been told it as arraignment, but I don't even know if he has a lawyer yet. No, I don't think this has anything to do with them being minors. Oh, I don't care about them unsealing anything. Yeah, and typically it's unsealed immediately, but I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. That, like I said, that's just my thought, and it's a brilliant thought, because under normal circumstances, this thing's already unsealed. They typically do not seal this kind of stuff. But you know, like I said, I don't really know if. No, I don't think the evidence should be out there yet. I think that everybody should learn it at trial. I've heard that it's been for a couple years, but I can't verify that. I can't verify that. But, you know, okay, well, good, thanks. I am not an expert at all, nor would I ever want to charge somebody with anything. That's true. I appreciate you saying that. If evidence is unsealed, the defense can go way out in left field to plant reasonable doubt. You know what they can also do with these kind of indictments sealed is they can say, hey, we got some bias going on here. You got to be careful of that. You got to have a reason to have it sealed. You have to have a reason that it's sealed. Otherwise, the judge isn't just going to do it out of the goodness of his heart. The judge cannot show, any kind of favoritism just because. Just because. Resti's defense is going to be a reasonable doubt created by pointing the finger at other. Prosecution maybe wants to say, hey, we encouraged and followed every tip in the world. Nobody else turned up. A town of 3,000 guys, like what are they going to do? There's no way. There's no way they can do this in Delphi. There's no way. It has to be moved. 3,000 people? How are you going to find a jury pool that's not tainted? It's going to be hard to find people that don't know about this case anywhere. But I just don't think that I think that it will get moved. I think it's going to have to get moved. 2 counts of first-degree murder. I think that's right, which would mean premeditation. Now, the one thing that I've been debating with people, and people much smarter than me, where I probably have no business debating these people, but I do it anyway because you know what? That's what I like to do. And when I truly feel something is one way, I'm going to roll with it. But, and I agree with a lot of people that I've talked to that, we sometimes look too deep into this stuff. Maybe we do. Maybe we, the story becomes bigger in our mind. Now, it was in our minds. Sometimes these things are not as complex as we tend to think they are. But I have to say, I think, and once again, I'm speaking for myself. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Stevie J with the stone face. That's true. That's really not that far away, though. No, Diane, don't scroll back. Let's just keep moving forward. Let's just keep moving forward. I think he lured him out there. I think that he knew exactly what he was doing when he lured them out there. I don't know how he did it. I have no clue how he did it. But that bridge was a trap. And he approached them at the place that he knew the best. What do you think? He was just out there just like rolling around? I just don't see that. I don't see that as a could it have been a crime of opportunity? Or was it set up? Was it set up? I don't know. I personally think that it was set up. Is that what you think? Let's go, Brandon. Look, I'm not criticizing. I'm not, like I said, I could be wrong. I think that it was planned, and I truly think that it was planned. But it very one thing that we are going to be able to find out is where, like, I think that he had a gun, but, we don't really know. Did he have is that for sure? Thank you, Laura. Laura Shortlegs. I like that name. That's funny. Yeah, and by the way, Graz knows quite a bit about this case, like most of you guys do. It looks like Libby was targeted. I can't get it out of my head unless he was rushed because Abby and Libby, rumored, have been treated differently. Yeah. John Usher says the picture of the daughter on the bridge is definitely creepy, but I believe it was his wife who took the photo, or at least posted it to her social media. Yeah. Would have known about the snow day. I mean, I don't think that he was out there strolling and hoping that a couple random kids would be by themselves. How does he know that there aren't parents right down the road or at the gate or whatever? And how would he know that? I think that he flushed him to the part of the bridge where it was easiest to, down the hill. Down the hill. Sharon says, I think you're right. A big guy coming up on two little girls would have been scary as hell. No question, Brenda. No question. Well, so what was he, 40, 44, 45 at the time? $44, $45 at the time. Daniel K. So, but my question to you would be, how is he going to know that was he just following them? I mean, yeah, that is possible. Definitely. All right, put a 1 in the chat if you think that this was planned, and a 2 if you think that it was random. And no judgments here. I'm just genuinely curious what everybody thinks. Don't let my thoughts influence your thoughts, please. I am curious, though. Yeah, they were trapped. That's exactly right. They were trapped. Yeah, I think most people really think it was planned. I haven't. The libertarians, Kevin coming in hot with the 2. I respect that. Laura, I respect that as well. I know a lot of really smart people would agree with the 2s, and I know a lot of people would just agree with the 1s. We're going to find out. We're going to find out what prosecutors think. Yes, for sure. I think it was planned possibly by a fake profile. Yeah, I think we can. Yeah, sure. I'm not very good at. Here, let's just do this here. Hold on. Did. All right. Incoming. Pew. He probably. Yep. Yeah, he probably could. You're probably right. Yeah, I agree with you on that. What was the? I can't remember. What was the last poll that we did? It was really bad. Um, well, does anybody remember what that was? It was something about my eye. I very much, and I'll just tell you, that my thought on him, whether he worked alone or not. And by the way, please hit that like button. We got 300 people in here and 84 likes. I mean, really? Only 85 people like me that are here? There's 300 people in here. 385 likes. Like them, please like. Please. I need that. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, eye drops. It was like, should I use more eye drops or do I have pink eye? All right, likes are starting to go up. Kind of. Okay, we hit 100. You guys are awesome. I'm liked. We love you. I love you too. Sorry, I will hit like. Thank you. Yeah. See, he may have hacked into Keegan's DMs and semi-framed him. See, I don't think it's that deep, personally. But, like, I'm not really, and that's the thing, I'm not here to criticize anybody's theories. I respect all theories because this has been one of the weirdest, most, like Gras said earlier, you're just, you're everywhere. You're everywhere. Brenda hits the like on the way in. And that's why I like Brenda. Because she does stuff like that. Because she's cool. And I love Brenda for it. Yeah. Press the bell too. All the coincidence required to make it unplanned, or make it unplanned, make it seem planned. Oh, okay. All right. I'm with it, I guess. I don't know. Kind of cool, though. I think you're right. I think you're right. Brenda is a real one. She goes super hard. You know what? I know that he was with Mexico, Indiana, and he moved to Delphi in like 2006 or something like that. I think, but I don't know what he did in a previous. Not really sure. Oh, it already is. It's been notorious for a long time between message boards, Reddit, friggin' 4chan, the nastiest web domain ever created. Do not go there. I repeat, do not go there. Yeah, I got my facts down pretty good sometimes, and then sometimes I'm just way off base with everything. Denise subscribed and hit that like button. I appreciate that. Keep subscribing. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. I love that. He worked at Walmart. Yeah, he's a real go-getter. Did anybody see... let's see. Let me read CVS's statement, because it's tragic. As members of the Carroll County community, we remain devastated by the murders, and our hearts go out to the German and Williams families. We are shocked and saddened to learn that a store employee who is no longer employed by CVS was arrested as a suspect in these crimes. We stand ready to cooperate with the police investigation in any way that we can. They do not mention why their receipts are so friggin' long in the statement. I mean, you know, what the hell is CVS going to do about that? Nothing. I mean, there's nothing. Danielle, it's going to be my question. Josh, is the dark web. The dark web, so 4chan isn't the dark web, it's like the gray web. It's the Stevie J. Yes, it is. 4chan is for absolute disgusting humans. Just Samantha, I haven't read that, but I mean, don't they probably just say what everybody else says? I would have never suspected it. I do not know. I do not know. But I do know, and this is what's really, really odd to me. Once the Keegan Klein connection came about, it really seemed like this case really started to take off. Yeah, there's no way. I do find it odd as well. I believe that he was. Yes, I believe that he was. It did. It seemed and if folks, if he did in fact not have anything to do with this, and law enforcement had eyes on Richard Allen. If that's true, and I don't know if it is or not, but they didn't do him any favors. I mean, not that you would do a pedo any favors, but I mean is somehow in some way, I think that he was held as bait. Like they kind of dangled him out there. He says no, blah, blah, blah. But I think, let me see here. Okay, so this is Angela Ganote. Update: Fox 59 filed a records request to get the probable cause unsealed to learn what led police to arrest Richard Allen. In my 29 years of journalism, I can't remember a case where the PC was sealed. That's what I said that. But I haven't done journalism, or I'll be 37 this month. I can't remember a case where the PC was sealed. We have access to PCs daily. We will let you know how the judge rules. And Diane, Master Splinter, good. Thank you for being here. Appreciate that. What we know about Richard Allen, his arrest, etc. 50-year-old. Oh my God. 50-year-old Richard Allen was arrested and taken into custody at the Indiana State Police post in West Lafayette on Wednesday, October 26th. He was formally charged with 2 counts of murder 2 days later on October 28th. Carroll County Circuit Court Judge hold on. Carroll County Circuit Court Judge Benjamin Diener was presiding judge in the arraignment and ordered the probable cause affidavit sealed. Sources with firsthand knowledge tell Fox 59 Allen came forward as a witness in the earlier stages of this investigation. That is absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. Wow. Came forward as a witness. Wow. I mean, I can't overstate See, but that's not really how it works. Just because they're still investigating, that really, obviously, this case in the public's eye is different, but it is no different than any other case that the court sees. You got to understand that. We think that it's different because of the notoriety, but it's not. It's a brutal crime, but they're all treated the same in a court of law. That's what makes it so unusual. I'm not against them sealing it, but we'll see. All right, so sources with first-hand knowledge. I don't know what his ploy was. I mean, he's a weird guy. I'm closing the poll. So, okay, so 65% believe that he had help. I don't believe he had help. Matt. Look at you, Matt. You're so nice. Lulu says BRB. I don't know if he helped search, yeah. Why is my girl Brenda never gets one? That sucks. Matt, thank you for doing that. It's very nice of you. Of course, I had the alerts turned off, so I screwed everything up, but let's see here. I became a member for you. There you go. Did it again. I think he acted alone too, but it's all speculative for me. Matt is sweet. He's a good guy. I gotta get Matt on here. I don't know if Matt is up for it, but I would love that because he's hilarious. Let's see. I know, Brenda. I know, Brenda. Apparently he's being looked at possibly for the one in Iowa, but let me finish this. Libby German's grandmother told me Alan made copies of photos of Libby for her funeral. He had different jobs at the local CVS, including pharmacy tech. I don't know, but I'll tell you that's going to be in the evidence. The video is longer. It's like 40 or 50 seconds. There's a lot, and I think there's more talking as well. I don't either, personally. It's going to happen for you. If I could do it, it just doesn't let me do that. It is longer. It's like 50 seconds long or 40 something seconds long. Let's see. His mugshot does look creepy. That's true. Libby German's, this is so weird, man. According to his marriage license, Alan married his wife at the age of 19, and she was also 19. Alan moved to Delphi from Mexico, Indiana. I didn't even know that there was a place. I didn't know that there was a place called Mexico, Indiana. I think you're a little behind in the chat, but that's all right, Carol. We'll see you when you get here. We're in the future for now. We got another framer here. Why would he leave her phone? I think he was trying to frame. I just don't think he knew that her phone was there. Driving when it was supposed to be. Okay, we're all out. We're all over the place now. Alan moved to Delphi from Mexico, Indiana in December 2016. Can you imagine like being from Mexico, Indiana, and they're like, where are you from? And you say Mexico. And they're like, huh? Yeah, Mexico, Indiana. No, I never heard of it. Mexico. Thomas Randall says, I think he was at the park or gave a statement to throw cops off. I think that would do almost the exact opposite. I wonder if he came forward before the video or audio. I really want to know what he thought when he saw that video, though. Now, staging the bodies could have been to throw them off. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it worked too. I don't know. All right. There's a Kokomo, Indiana. We're driving from Mexico, Indiana to Kokomo. Mexico, Indiana. Seriously, whoever named Mexico, Indiana, I mean, come on. They're like, hey, what are we going to call this place? Mexico. And then Kokomo, Peru, and Mexico. Like whoever's naming these towns needs to do better. Peru. Hey, well, what do you want to name this one? We'll name this one Peru. Oh, what about this one? Kokomo. Like the Beach Boys song? Way down, come on, pretty mama. To the Kokomo. We'll get there faster if we take it slow. Way down in pretty mama. I'm from New York, not too far from Mexico, New York. That's what I'm saying. It's the same dude. It's the same dude. Naming places. He probably went all over the United States. Thought Mexico was such a cool name, so he just started naming everybody. He's like, every town that I go to will be called Mexico. We got a question. Do you think this was his first time doing this, or perhaps he has more victims we may never know about? It seems like he knew what he was doing. This is, Mexico, Missouri. Like, seriously? Mexico, Missouri. They're just lazy with the names. It's the same dude naming all these places. I love the Beach Boys. So I've thought about this at nauseum. And do I think he's done something like this? This could have been the pinnacle of his obsession. So he could have done many smaller, creepy things. It wouldn't surprise me, obviously, that he'd be into like weird kitty stuff. All this is just speculative, but obviously, there's psychological issues there. He very well could have killed others, but anybody that's willing to do anything like this, I was just telling Linda this, I think we were talking about last night. I was looking at the picture, like aerial footage of the bridge, and there was this it seemed like a really pretty photo of the Monon High Bridge, and even though that thing's a piece of crap. And I told her that it was tragically beautiful. And the site itself sets off a lot of different thoughts. And that even though, you know, the scenery around there is nice and where did he grow up? He grew up in Mexico. Did you not hear the last 10 minutes of this conversation? Yeah, it was. I referred to it as tragically beautiful, because the evil that was done there, the evil that was done there in such a quiet, peaceful place. Chris coming in hard with there's a town called Dildo in Newfoundland, Canada. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate you being here, buddy. I've had several conversations with Chris about this, and we don't agree. We don't agree. Let's see. I've heard that they're going to repair it. I heard that they've started to repair it. I've heard all kinds of stuff. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't think. I mean, first of all, it seems like when you want to call it sloppy, I do think that it was. Yeah, I mean, kind of. It seems as though there was a lot of evidence that was collected. Possibly DNA, possibly thumbprint. You know, like I said, we don't know shit. Sorry. It's after dark. The kids are in bed. You can say that. Hi, David. How are you? To pocket the money. I probably read that out of context. An article said the bridge budget for repairs was 120,000 isn't going to do anything to that bridge. Nothing. It won't do anything. To that bridge. I mean, what are they going to do? Get some new ties? It's just an awful, awful place. They have definitely alluded to the fact that there was DNA, some sort of DNA. I don't know what kind. Nobody does. So, yeah. There's going to be all kinds of crappy movies made about this. Don't people fall off of that thing all the time? Brother D says 2017 press conference, they were on him. I don't know. I mean, maybe. They must have known, you know, that 2017 one was pretty gnarly. I enjoyed your video on the landfill cases, Josh. Great work. Have a good night. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate that very much. What conference? The 2000 we you want to watch the 2017? Yeah, we can. We can do whatever we want because we're adults. That's what adults do. That wasn't a... Didn't we watch that the other day? Is there really one that's on? This one's like 4 minutes. I don't want to watch the whole thing. For real? Let's see. Okay, hold on. Monitor 2. Bam. That was dope. I'm hidden now, though.
Okay, good morning. On behalf of Sheriff Tove Lisenby of the Carroll County Sheriff's Department, who's the lead.
Let's check this.
During these periods of times, and I've only had a couple of other situations in my lifetime. I'm able to stand before you and say that. Why Libby? Why Abby?
I think so.
Why Delphi? Why Carroll County? Why the region? Why the state? Why even in the nation?
Yes, it was train
I
tracks.
say that because this is a classic example and a clear example that evil lives amongst us. To the family, to the community, the region, the state, as a leader of the Indiana State Police, I say I am so very sorry.
Is this the right one?
Resources. It's unlikely that any of you will ever see, nor will we ever see or experience again, the level of resources that are attached to this investigation.
I really like this guy a lot.
My gosh, all I can say is to give you my sincere thanks. See, this isn't like TV. There's a perception that this can be solved very quickly. Anything that we do can be solved very quickly, but this is a testament that it can't, and we need you. We've needed you since last week. We need you today. We need you tomorrow.
Probably not. I mean, a lot of people are in denial about weird stuff. I bet you she saw some weird stuff, though.
Like me, to you, I say thank you.
Nobody wants to believe it.
To the people dressed funny like me and those that represent the law enforcement profession.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, Chris.
Just like you.
Chris is from Dildo, Indiana.
I'd stand anywhere in the nation with people standing behind me. And I would suggest to you that every time something like this happens, a little piece of us dies as well. But I also want you to understand how committed we are as a collective one. As a collective one, and we will continue. This has been briefed all the way up to the director of the FBI, Director Comey, and Greg Mass is going to talk a little bit about that. I've had an opportunity to speak to my boss, Governor Eric Holcomb, a couple different times about this situation. And every time I do, I see this look that comes over his face, just like yours in this community's. And that's the unfortunate experience of experiencing evil. We're not stopping. The poster in front of you. Someone knows who this individual is. Someone knows who this individual is. Is it a family member?
Thank you, D.
Is it
Appreciate
a neighbor?
that.
Is it an acquaintance? Is it an associate? Or maybe that one guy that lives over at that one place that just kind of not right. Maybe it's his jeans. Maybe it's his jacket or his sweatshirt. Maybe it's his shirt tail. Maybe it's his posture. Maybe it's the right hand in his pocket. You see, even with technology, we need human intelligence. In other words, we need you. I'm not suggesting that science, that everything that we can do as science has been done, because we are just getting started. Abby and Libby deserve.
Isn't it crazy to like look back at this in retrospect? Lovely.
Us.
There's no place called
They deserve every single one of us.
Dido, Indiana.
Not just the people standing up here on the stage that have given so much of their lives to not just this, but to this profession, but each and every one of you. Each and every person listening, watching, or seeing this in some form, we need you. Libby and Abby need you. Please do not rationalize tips away. Rationalize what you think that might not be important away by thinking he would never do that to another human being. Or think, what I know doesn't matter.
Libertarian right here hits the you hit the nail on the head with a hammer here. Public video, audio sketches right behind him in CVS. Nobody knew. Wife could easily be in denial. Also, definitely not blue eyes. Exactly. And no, there is no such place.
Let folks like the people that are standing behind me with such incredible passion and commitment and dedication to this profession make that determination. Tips are anonymous. Some might not want to talk about it because they don't want to get involved, because they know the individual. Again, he may be a family member, probably has a family. No one will ever know. No one will ever know.
That was creepy right there.
There's not an agency on the planet better than helping us facilitate this than the FBI. And they're as entrenched in this as anybody. No one will know. As poor as this picture is, somebody knows. And if you're watching, we'll find you.
Oh, you know he was
Who's
watching.
next? I hate to ask you that question. I'd give my life to not have to. But I know you've asked yourself that very question. We must recognize it. You see, we're all the same. We're all human beings. We must keep our resolve for Libby and Abby, for this community, and frankly, to ensure that good trumps evil. And it will. You're going to hear more in just a minute about what we know. Do not discount the voice that you'll hear. We will stay committed with resolve very rarely exhibited with human behavior until this conclusion. Please be patient. Become our partners and communicate with us as often as you can. And now from a very humble servant, that's the most blessed guy on this planet to represent the profession that I represent, to Abby and Libby. It's my hope and my prayer that you're now experiencing God's promise of eternal peace.
At this time, I would like to invite Greg Massa, Assistant Special Agent in charge for the FBI, to the podium.
Good morning. As the Assistant Special Agent in charge, my role is to supervise and lead the FBI's criminal investigations across the state of Indiana. 9 days ago, we had an agent that was participating in the search for the missing victims, and from that moment until this morning, we have stood shoulder to shoulder with our law enforcement partners here. The FBI plays an important support role in this investigation, this joint investigation. I'm very humbled by the response that the resources that are under my direction have brought, and hopefully the contributions that we are making. On any given day, we have 20 FBI agents that are here providing investigative help, whether that's running down leads, conducting interviews, helping with lead tracking system, providing intelligence analysis support, providing technical assistance. Every night, I update our FBI headquarters to our Deputy Assistant Director, and as the Superintendent mentioned, this has been briefed to the FBI Director on 2 occasions. So whatever resource that the FBI has available, whether it's here in the state of Indiana or nationally, we have brought those resources, and we will continue to do so. We were committed to working around the clock, as we have been over the last 9 days, and will continue to do so until this case is solved. To the members of the community, when I met with our behavioral analysis unit and their expertise and their experience, it is oftentimes even unwitting that a member of the community may have information that is germane to this investigation. And I'd like the community to go back 9 days and go back to the afternoon of February 13th, Monday, February 13th, and just think if you had an interaction with an individual who inexplicably canceled an appointment that you had together, or an individual called into work sick,
So that's one of the things that I always have thought about as soon as this guy got arrested. Is he obviously wouldn't have an alibi for that day, which is not enough. I get it. It's not enough, but it's not a big, it's just not a big, it's just not a big town. That's what I'm saying. Who canceled what? Were you supposed to work that day? It's going to be interesting to see how they got, circled the drain on him.
canceled.
I don't know if that works or not. Circled the drain. Moving on.
An important appointment or a social engagement, and at the time gave what would have been a plausible explanation. My cell phone broke, or I had a flat tire on my car. But in retrospect, that excuse no longer holds water. That may be important. Likely so are behavioral indicators that this individual may have exhibited since the afternoon of May 13th. Did this individual travel unexpectedly? Did they change their appearance? Did they shave their beard, cut their hair, change the color of their hair? The superintendent mentioned the clothes that this individual was wearing in the photo. Did they change the way they dress?
Exactly.
Did their behavior change? Did their sleep pattern is different now? Did they start abusing drugs or alcohol, whereas they would not have?
Seems like he was a
Have they
drinker.
been anxious, nervous, irritable? Have they followed this case and what the media is putting out with a sense that is not normal? Have they had ongoing discussions regarding their whereabouts on that afternoon or thereafter? Please, if you have that information, call that into the tip line. After this press conference, the FBI will be putting out a series of these indicators on our social media, so it'll be
Yes, that's what we're hearing. But wouldn't that obviously put him on the radar?
available, not only to the citizens of this community, but across the state of Indiana and then nationally as well. We'll also be utilizing digital billboards, and in any way we can spread this message, we will. I'll just finalize my remarks just to say that to my law enforcement partners behind me, to the community at large, 9 days ago, the
Oh, yeah.
FBI stood shoulder to shoulder with you. We're not going anywhere. We will be here until this case is solved, and I am confident this case will be solved. Thank you.
At this time, I would like to invite Captain Dave Burston, Chief Public Information Officer for the Indiana State Police, to the podium.
Thank you, Tony.
Ryan, this isn't Let's Make a Date.
We do have some new information for you today. It's in the form of an audio file from
Just
the
kidding.
cell phone that Liberty German had with her at the time. We're not going to play everything that we have, but Liberty had the presence of mind to turn on her video camera. Again, we're not going to be able to share everything with you, but we are going to share this audio clip with you momentarily with the hope that somebody will recognize this voice. And I want to be very clear that what you're about to hear is just 4 short words. Excuse me, 3 words. Down the hill. You're going to hear this played 4 times. The audio quality is not superb, but there's enough there that somebody could recognize this person's voice. And as Superintendent Carter said, not to rationalize away. If you hear this today and you think, my God, that sounds like fill in the blank, call us. Make an anonymous tip. Tell us who you think it is. Let us investigate it.
That's
If
what
it's
I
not the
think
right
too.
person, they'll just be out a little bit of time and they'll be cleared and they can go on and they'll never know that you called. But you may tell us who the right person was. And you could be the person that helps us to solve this horrible crime. Micah, play the clip, please.
Micah, let's go.
Would you play it one more time?
Honestly, and I'm in all sincerity here, who the hell is going to be able to recognize that voice? So, like, come on. I think if they had more audio, they should have played more audio. You can't tell anything from that. Don't pretend like you can either. Exactly, it does sound like a mountain lion. It does nothing to me. It's like that sounds like every bad recording ever made.
So that audio clip later today will be available on the Indiana State Police website. You can simply go to our website and add the extension /delphi.htm. There will be information on that website that talks about the reward that is being collected now. Sergeant Slocum will talk more about that.
He doesn't. By the way, people call him Ricky. I want to start calling him Ricky.
Amount of money
Probably hated that. Don't call me Ricky.
that's been raised.
Going hiking. Weirdo. He is a weirdo, man. He really is.
Towards solving this case. And really, money shouldn't be what drives somebody to help solve this. Just a sense of community and wanting to help and to get this person off the street. The image that you see there of the suspect, that came from Liberty's phone. I think many of you had speculated that before. We weren't prepared to discuss that at the time. We have more video. We're not releasing it. It's germane to our investigation. And it's important that we spread that person's voice far and wide for somebody that
Which is why he definitely could have played a little bit more Ricky.
will recognize who that is and will call us.
Yeah, he
and
is
tell
Dickie.
us.
Ricky Dummy.
I also want to tell you that there will be a tip line. There's an email tip line. I'll spell it out for you, and it'll be on the website later, but if
Wait,
you
what
want
was
to
he
copy
just
this
doing?
down,
He's getting a text from his shorty. Look.
it's important that we spread that person's voice far and wide for somebody that will recognize who that is and will call us and tell us.
Hey, can you get the extra thick gravy for the
I also
lasagna?
want to tell you that there will be a tip line.
Sure, baby. When I'm done here.
There's an email tip line. I'll
He hit her back.
spell it out for you, and it'll
Da, 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 da. I love that. He's like, he couldn't leave her on red. He couldn't leave her on red because she wouldn't like that.
be on the website later, but if you want to copy this down, tips can be emailed to ABBYANDLIBBYTIP at CACOSHRF.com. That is Abby and Libby Tip at CA.
I meant to say spaghetti. But that's what it's called. It's called gravy. You guys aren't Italian. Matt is, but nobody else. If you're not Italian, you wouldn't understand the gravy. Mozzarella with the gravy.
COSHRF.com. Phone number, email, call the Delphi Police, call the Carroll County Sheriff's Department, call the state police. Help us to capture the person responsible for these murders.
I meant ragu. What does it matter? Guys can't wait to shove it up my butt whenever I mess up. It's hard to talk for a few hours.
As I started out,
Okay.
we volunteer because we care. I believe that's a way of life here in Carroll County and the Delphi area. As Captain Bursta indicated, we now have monies for a reward. I believe we're in upwards to around $41,000, with $25,000 being donated by the FBI, $10,000 by the Indiana Packers, a local business. The Andersons have donated $5,000. Indiana Lafayette Savings and Loans has donated $1,000. They do that because they care.
See?
We need to solve this case. We have every resource that we can think of to prompt people to give us information. We need to get the murderer
Gravy.
of Liberty German and Abigail Williams into custody sooner rather than later.
I've watched The Sopranos through probably 7 times. I'm basically Italian.
That will be the end of our press conference. As far as speakers at this time, we will
Yes.
entertain questions.
Uh-oh. Ann Vroom is accusing Carter of possibly being a grandstander? I hear what you're saying. I don't know. Just probably because it was such a big case.
Is there any specific information that says the person is local or from far away? No. Could this be a stranger crime? That's a possibility. Could this be somebody that knew that the girls were going to be there at that time? That's a possibility. Nothing is off the table.
Yeah, it's exactly.
No, and that's
exactly right.
racist.
The only thing I would add is where the FBI can come involved, and if it does lead interstate or multi-jurisdictionally, we have that capability to stretch it further outside of this immediate community across the state or across state lines.
Let's go one at a time. I'll let you do your follow-up, then I'll come to you. What's your follow? Go ahead and do your follow-up.
How long after Liberty posted to social media
As a special, we know that there are going to be lots of questions that we specifically cannot answer, because there are things that we do not want to tip our hand to the person responsible for this. That kind of information we're keeping close to ourselves. Is it reasonable to think that that's an area, one of two things happen. That was a chance encounter.
Exactly.
That's possible. Don't think it's likely, but it's possible. Or that person knew that they were going to be there. That's possible as well. Those are things that we're looking into.
I know. I was just kidding too. I know it's that's the joke.
Similar to what I just said, there's specific pieces of information that we're not discussing. The best example that I can give you is if somebody is a victim of a burglary and then they're murdered, everybody wants to know how they were murdered.
So check this out. So last night, after the show, I go inside and I open the refrigerator, and very rarely do my kids ever contribute anything to the refrigerator. They're mostly subtractors, consumers, if you will. But there happened to be a thin paper plate, the really cheap ones, with about 3 or 4 pieces of pizza on it. And I said, oh, well, what do we have here? And I text my son, which he was in his room, and that will tell you everything that you need to know. I text him. I said, hey, whose pizza? Up for grabs? He says, yeah, it's up for grabs, dude. So I have this ability to any major chain pizza, Domino's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's, Little Caesars, Round Table, I can tell what pizza is which by either looking at them and or tasting them. You could line up cheese pizzas and I can tell which one's which all day. Cheese, that's it. Straight up and down, the Carl Lewis of pizza. Just the good old 100-meter dash, if you will, of pizza. And I can tell you which one. Now, as I'm eating this pizza, I ask him, hey, I took a bite and I was like, where is this pizza from? And Domino's is easy. No, they can't. But then I say, where's this pizza from? And he says, but before I say that, or before he answers, I say, I can usually tell where this pizza's from. And then I said, Winco. Now, Winco is a supermarket in the Western Hemisphere, United States. It's a big supermarket chain. And I said, it's Winco Pizza, right? And he says, Winco. And I was like, dude, not only now, because I can tell Costco Pizza too. Costco's not a pizza place. Costco's not a pizza place. I could tell Costco. I could tell Winco.
If we go into the details and we say they were stabbed twice in the back and they were shot in the head,
Just in case you were wondering.
then
I
everybody
don't
hears
know.
that. And then we get tips.
It's a
People
show,
post that,
people.
and the tip
You
is
got to
useless.
entertain.
We're keeping information that will only be known by the person or by
If
who
I
that
could
person
watch
told.
myself, I would.
And when that's shared with us, it will set off the alarm bells and we'll know.
And by the way, I never rewatch a show that I do. Ever. Ever. Never. I don't know if I'm a.
Greg, I'll let
I mean, it's yeah, it's fine.
address that.
There has been no indication right now that
I love
this is
stuffed
part of
crust.
a serial murder, if that's what your question is. So as of the facts that we have collected at this point in time, we have not tied it to any other known homicides.
Yeah, we're kind of the same way.
We have other information that we're not sharing, and specific to your question, Raphael,
It's pretty gnarly.
keep in mind that there the likeliness, the possibility of more than one person. We're not saying that the voice that you heard is the same as this person here.
Graz is into the stuffed crust. I like
All
stuffed crust.
Very complicated, very involved, and as much as we would like to tell you everything, more importantly, we want to solve the crime. Correct. That could be or could not be. The audio is.
I think I may have told this story. That guy just said it could be or it could not be. What the hell kind of answer is that? I mean, I know it's an answer, but it's not. It's like a could be or it could not be, dude. Oh God, that scared the shit out of me. Ah! All right, we're going to 2019 now. You like DiGiorno, but you're too lazy? What is that? Like, too lazy to put it in an oven? Bye, Lulu.
Doug Carr.
How come they didn't hold this? Is this what was this one at the church too?
Inspire people.
It's fluid like gender. Hold on. I'm gonna. Oh wow, Linda's been a 12-month member. Why are you still awake? Because you're watching The Lab, dude. That's why.
Oh, da 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 da. It's the one and only Digo Double G. No, da 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 da. Yeah.
DJ Cumberbund.
Okay. Sorry. All right, let's play this.
People you don't even understand, and you don't even understand why. Information is being released today is the result of literally thousands and thousands of hours of extraordinary investigative efforts by Delphi, Carroll County, the FBI.
He talks like I do, like in public. it was like he kind of this and this, like that's how I do too. I like try and focus on certain. I do that too. I don't like people that just straight on. They got to be boom, boom. You got an audience. You know what I mean?
The Indiana State Police and countless other agencies. This community surrounded us some 26 months ago. And you did everything you could to support us, but most importantly, you surrounded the family of these two little girls. Gosh, I'll never forget it. After you hear what we're going to release today, I'm going to ask for your continued support, your continued understanding, your empathy and compassion as we move forward to find out who did this, and we will. We're seeking the public's help to identify the driver of a vehicle that was parked at the old CPS DCS welfare building in the city of Delphi that was abandoned on the east side of County Road 300 North next to the Hoosier Heartland Highway between the hours of noon to 5 on February 14th, 2017. If you were parked there or know who was parked there, please contact the officers at the command post at the Delphi City Building. We are releasing additional portions of the audio recording from that day. Please keep in mind, the person talking is one person and is the person on the bridge with the girls. This is not two different people speaking. Please listen to it very, very carefully. We are also releasing video recovered from Libby's phone. This video has never before been previously released. The video shows a suspect walking on the bridge. When you see the video, watch the person's mannerisms as they walk. Watch the mannerisms as he walks.
It's a good question.
Do you recognize the mannerisms as being someone that you might know? Remember, he is walking on the former railroad bridge. Because of the deteriorated condition of the bridge, the suspect is not walking naturally due to the spacing between the ties. During the course of this investigation, we have concluded the first sketch released will become secondary as of today. The result of the new information and intelligence over time leads us to believe the sketch, which you will see shortly,
It's probably just about
is
weed.
the person responsible for the murders of these two little girls. We also believe this person is from Delphi, currently or has previously lived here,
See,
visits Delphi on a regular basis, or works here.
so he knew here, right?
We believe this person is currently between the age range.
I like how they give. I bet they gave alternate. Like he either lived here or he works here. They didn't want to be too specific. Why you wouldn't want to be? Maybe you don't want to skip. You don't have enough evidence to arrest the guy. I guess. Try and make a mistake or something. I don't know.
18 and 40, but might appear younger than his true age.
Between 18 and 40, or 24 to 79, but could look older.
Directly to the killer, who may be in this room. We believe you are hiding in plain.
I think he knows who it is right here, man. I really do. I think that they know who he is, but they just can't prove it yet.
Directly to the killer.
Yeah, Julie, he either lives here or he doesn't live here. he either works here or he doesn't work here. It's one or the other.
who may be in this room.
Brother D, I'm with you.
We believe you are hiding in plain sight.
By the way, I wonder if he was actually there.
For more than 2 years, you never thought we would shift gears to a different investigative strategy, but we have.
See, I thought that he was grandstanding. Not like as a person, but, you know, kind of just doing the, if you know what pontificating is, like that's what I felt like he was doing.
We likely have interviewed you.
Oh, see, and what did we find out today? That they've interviewed him.
Or someone close to you. We know that this is about power to you. And you want to know what we know.
See, that is maybe when he went to talk to the cops.
One day, you will. A question to you. What will those closest to you think of? They find out that you brutally murdered 2 little girls. 2 children. Only a coward would do such a thing.
That's a fact.
We are confident that you have told someone what you have done. Or at the very least, they know because of how different you are since the murders. We try so hard to understand how a person could do something like this to two children.
Very emotional. He's an emotional guy for being the superintendent cop of the state of Indiana. But I like him. I don't like robots. You know what I mean? I like people that have a little substance. He's got substance.
I recently watched a movie called The Shack.
I remember when he said that, I was like, what the hell's that got to do with anything?
And there's also a book that talks so well about evil, about death, and about eternity. To the murderer, I believe you have just a little bit of a conscience left. And I can assure you that how you left them in that woods is not what they're experiencing today. To the family, I hope that you all will give them some time, because we're going to be asking that there's no media inquiry or no media response for at least the next 2 weeks, and I hope you understand why. The family found out about this information this morning. I just want the family to know that when I take my last breath on this earth, I'll be thinking of them. There's going to be a tremendous amount of questions, I know that.
But he saw all
that.
kinds of crime scenes, didn't he?
Never in my career have I stood in front of something like this.
Oh, okay. Memory not. Never mind.
Please, be patient with us, please. We're just beginning. We are just now beginning. And I can tell
me
you
too.
on behalf of the sheriff and the police
Squirrel
chief,
chaser.
so many other partners that have stood with us over this period of time,
Oh, that was sick.
that we will not stop.
I didn't mean to do that, and I don't know how to change it.
I just unveiled the person that we believe responsible for the murder of these two little girls.
By the way, I think they did him a little too much favor with the hair.
So I invite media to take a look at that now. It's not up. Kim?
I like him. I like the sheriff a lot.
We're also going to show you a video not previously released that Superintendent spoke to, and also the audio that's additional to what's been previously released. It's only a slight change in it. So give Sergeant Riley just a second as he gets that up and ready.
I agree with you, and I really do.
Stand by for the video, please. There is no sound of the video.
Jesus. So this is the first time that they ever played this? It was 2019? Yeah, sounds about right.
As Superintendent Carter mentioned, he is on the railway bridge. You have to take different steps to get to it. This information later this afternoon will be on the State Police website. For the community that's here, we have 100 copies of the news release.
Why am I in black and white?
If you put in that URL, you'll be able to get to that site to play it. And we also have that same release for you in the media. And the rest of the state will get that release in about 15 minutes. So we appreciate those of you that came here. This concludes our announcement. Thank you for your time, patience, and courtesy.
I know. I really do wonder what he was thinking. All right, well, I think we've kicked it around enough for tonight, guys.
It seems what's left of my human side is slowly changing. In me. Looking at my.
There is no investigation. This boy has.
Thank you for the new members,
Don't say any F's and stuff.
mods, super chats, super stickers. I'll be back tomorrow.
Put her on the side and where I'm
gonna do what I gotta do for me and my boys and my kids.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
There is no investigation. This boy has.
It's not really. It is to me.
You guys are the best.
Right. Idiot.
I've done my best. It's hard, that's real tough.
See you tomorrow.
But I have to put her on the side and where I'm with the boys.
I'm gonna do what I gotta do for me and my boys and my kids.
We do have the best show. I'm telling you, we do.
F's and stuff.
I don't care what anybody says. Live from the NBD Production Studios, you're in the lab with your host, Joshua Diaz.
There is no investigation. This boy has.
It's not really. It is to me. But I have to put her on the side and where I'm with the boys. But I have to.
There is no investigation.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
But I have to put her. But I have to put her on the side and where I'm with the boys.